Hello and welcome. Italian-born actress Sophia Loren has been one of the world's most beautiful movie stars. In a career that has spanned more than 60 years, Sophia has co-starred with some of the world's greatest actors, including Marlon Brando, Paul Newman, Charlton Heston, Cary Grant, Gregory Peck, Tyrone and Marcello Mastroianni. At 26, she won the Best Actress Oscar for her performance in the film Two Women, opposite Jean-Paul Belmondo. Such was her enduring beauty, she posed for the 2007 Pirelli Calendar at the age of 72. So it was no surprise that back in the mid-80s, publishers persuaded her to write a book about the art of being beautiful. It was aptly titled Women and Beauty. When she visited Sydney in 1984, it also coincided with her on-screen appearance with her son, Edoardo, then 14, in a telemovie called Aurora. Last year, at 87, she co-starred in the telemovie The Life Ahead, which was directed by Edoardo. But during that visit, I was fortunate enough to sit down with her and talk about the challenge of writing a book on beauty, her opinions of Barbra Streisand, Meryl Streep and Cary Grant, and also the experience of working with her then teenage son in his movie debut.
Sophie, what was the hardest part of writing the book? It was a 2-year project, so obviously it wasn't something you could just sit down and spin off the top of your head.
No, absolutely. I was asked many times to write a beauty book, but so many books about beauty had come out that I couldn't write just a list of a rigid list of how to diet, how to exercise, how to get made up. I thought if I decided to do the book, that to do something a little bit deeper. And so I said, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but if I think of something, I will tell you. So I thought about it a great deal, and then I said to him, okay, I think that we can do it, but I would like to talk about inside qualities about a woman. How does she feel about motherhood, about teenagers, about charm, about kindness, about manners, about control, about organization, about all these kind of things that are all qualities that every woman and also every man has got inside. So if we do that, I'm interested in it because I think it can interest everybody, men and women, I mean both. And also about beauty. Of course, in the book I give some tips about dieting, exercising, and these kind of problems.
So what actually was the sort of the key that convinced you to go ahead and do the book?
Well, it was my experience. I mean, I
no, but
thought
you said you didn't want to do it at first.
Yes, I know, but the key was when I was concentrating on how to do the book, I said, what did I learn through my own experience as a woman and as an actress? What did I learn about makeup? What did I learn about elegance? What did I learn about looking at myself on the screen? And all the qualities that you have inside of yourself when you have to develop a character, a personage that you have to act. That's what came about in the book.
So what, in actually doing it, in the 2 years that you worked on it, what did you find the most difficult thing?
No, it's not difficult. Once you have the key and the lock to put it in, it's not difficult anymore because everything comes, not easy, but everything comes about. And it's quite, it's a work that you have to do. You have to think and do many things, but if you have found the secret to how to make a book interesting, it's quite easy.
It strikes me reading the book that you've exposed yourself far more than if you'd simply had a biography written by a journalist or something about you, or indeed if you'd written an autobiography, because you really, I mean, you've taken off all the layers, the physical layers and the emotional layers, to tell us all you're inside. Do you see it that way, as you exposing yourself?
Right. it was like going, to a psychiatrist. But that's the only way that I think that's the only way I can do things only in this kind of way, to be truthful, to be sincere, and to be honest. And to be like that, you have to expose yourself. And to expose yourself, you are kind of naked in front of everybody, which is not easy sometimes. But some other times it's worth it, especially in this case, because you can give so many advices to so many women that maybe they are sometimes unhappy for the way they look, and they don't know many things, and maybe they can take here and there some advices which are very good for them.
One of the interesting things at the beginning, or near the beginning of the book, that you talk about, which surprised me anyway, is that you talk about vanity, and you kind of endorse vanity.
I don't endorse vanity.
In a special way, though.
Yes, I understand what you mean. But I think, what does vanity mean? The desire to be liked. No? So what's wrong with that? Because we always talk about vanity in a negative way. But if you take it on the good side, vanity, it's also a desire to be liked. So I wanted to analyze the word vanity, even though sometimes it is negative. But if you take the right angle of it, you can have from the word also some positive reactions. And it's true.
So what about, it's all very well for a glamorous movie star, though, to talk about vanity in that way, because you do it professionally, if you like. But what about for the woman who genuinely isn't attractive? She knows she's not attractive. She finds it very difficult to see herself in a positive way. I mean, how can you bridge that between that kind of a woman?
There are no hopeless ugliness. I mean, if you really want to, you can always help yourself, and you can always look better than you are. It just depends on how you feel inside of yourself. If you are in love, even if you are a plain woman, you become more beautiful. People come to you and say, "My God, you look so beautiful today." Why? Because it's this inner quality that comes from inside of herself that comes out through her eyes, which is absolutely wonderful. So that's what I'm praying, that women read the book because of the inside. Inside qualities are much more important than physical attributes, because physical attributes, I mean, they don't last very long. I mean, it's
I don't
true.
know.
No, I know, but they don't last very long. I mean, you can be beautiful until you are 20, 25, but if you have no discipline, if you don't take care of yourself, at 30 you are an old woman. It's true.
So when it comes to vanity, then, we think of things perhaps like facelifts, for instance, which have become a vogue in some areas of the world. If a woman said to you, "Look, I'm thinking of having a facelift, I think it would really do me a lot of good, not just make me look better, but it would make me feel better," would you endorse that? Would you say, yes, go ahead?
Listen, I mean, for me, my face is my work, and I don't like to lose by having the wrong doctor change my face, and after plastic surgery, and change my look. So for me, it's something different. But I think if a woman really, she has a problem about her face, and she wants to do something about it, nobody is going to change her mind. She has to do it, and she will do it. But I think there is a wonderful thing, a wonderful look about a mature woman also. But before doing any plastic surgery, I think that women should go to see many doctors, to inquire a great deal about what they do, because once it's done, it's forever. And that I don't like, you know. You have to be very careful about plastic surgery.
Yes.
Very careful. And also you have to remember it's a major operation. So you really have to go to a doctor that you trust very much.
So in simple terms of vanity, a woman should not just rush out and do it because she's heard that it's
in anything in life, you should never go just out and rush. You should always say, wait a second, let me think it over for, let me count until 10, and then I see if I'm still eager to do whatever I have to do.
In the book, you name a couple of extremely well-known actresses and entertainers who I guess you admire, but whose beauty is not conventional. One of them is Meryl Streep. The other one is Barbra Streisand that springs to mind. Why? What is it about those two women that appeal to you?
No, I mentioned Meryl Streep because I was talking about irregularities in the face.
The nose.
And I said that Meryl Streep, without the nose that she has, which is not very big, but it's a particular nose, she would be diminished if she had a tiny nose. And the kind of feature that she has in her face gives her a kind of, you can tell that this is a woman of a great drama and great spirit. Barbra Streisand I mentioned for the clothes with Elizabeth Taylor, about the personality of a woman.
Do you think it's easier for a man to age and therefore retain his beauty, if you like, his handsomeness, than for a woman?
No, I think it's the same thing. There is no difference at all. Absolutely not.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have said yes, it was easier for a man to age. They
Why?
don't have to, because they don't have to think so much about their makeup and their hair and so on.
They do, they do, they do.
They do?
They do, yes.
Of the many stars that you've worked with, who in those terms do you feel has sort of retained his youthfulness, in a sense?
I don't know, maybe
Cary Grant?
Cary Grant, despite his age, yes, absolutely, yes.
Now, he
is a very wonderful, disciplined man. I mean, you can see it right away, yes.
You met him on
The Pride and Passion, 1957.
What was he like when you first met him? How did you get on with him?
Wonderfully, because I didn't speak very well English at that time, and he helped me a lot, and we went, really, we had a wonderful relationship together.
He taught you English?
He didn't teach me English, he tried to improve my English, yes.
And he succeeded, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, yes, of course he did.
One of the films that obviously must be one of your proudest and one that sticks in the public's mind is Two Women.
Yes,
with an Oscar.
The Gold of Naples, Two Women, Marriage, Italian Style, Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow. And the last one I did with Ettore Scola, which is called A Special Day.
If you hadn't have won the Oscar, would Two Women have stuck in your mind as a very special film?
Always, yes.
Why?
Well, because of the war, when the story took place in the Second World War II, and it was a story that was so poignant and so dramatic that, I mean, I don't prefer this film because I had an Oscar, but because I thought, I think it's one of the most beautiful stories ever written from an Italian author on the world, on the war. Yeah.
I also asked Sophia about working with her then teenage son Edoardo in his movie debut.
I was, somebody sent me this story, and I thought it was a very gentle and nice story. Something that you don't see very often on the screen today, because all the pictures that you see today on the screen, they are very violent, very aggressive. But this was a very nice, emotional story, and a wonderful relationship between a mother and her son. And the son had the age of Edoardo. So I said to the director, why don't you test him and see if Edoardo can do the role? So we made a test together, and it was wonderful, and we did the film together. I was very scared when he started the film, but he was the one who was reassured.
You were very scared?
I was very scared, yes.
Why?
Well, because it's not easy to work with your own son, because you have so many conflicts inside of yourself and so many things to think about. You can't be relaxed, really. But after 2 weeks of shooting, he was the one who was reassuring me. He was saying, everything is okay, don't worry, Mom. So it was really wonderful, because he had the right concentration, and he always knew his lines, and he was always on the set on time. And I must say, he looks beautiful on the screen, and he's really very good. I think he has a gift for acting, and he has this passion inside of him. He wants to be an actor. He wants to be an actor.
Well, that's 90% of it, isn't it?
I don't know, yes. Yes. He likes it very, very much.
Sophia, thank you very much for talking to us.
Yes, yeah.
Sophia Loren has remained the personification of beauty and style throughout her personal and professional life. Way back in 1950, she'd come second in the Miss Italia competition at the age of 16. Her title was Miss Eleganza. As for sex appeal, she's quoted as saying it's 50% of what you've got and 50% of what other people think that you've got.